Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, close to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent Cy. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Lineup for Braves Country by DM Magee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks, changing speeds east and west, a gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright, the father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play, Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly, and his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts, a plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P's still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler. Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren. Skip Carey 2. Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren. Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young, the game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Ramalama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying, it felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee, to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM Magee, 2024.
like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection, opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes, and the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's inside. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-1 lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America you get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first. And here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop. All throughout Braves country, pop that top! Your Atlanta Braves have won it all!
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright
down a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing right field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Jorge Soler. 12 home runs, 40 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .240. Batting second, playing third, Austin Riley. 14 home runs, 43 RBI, batting .259. Batting third, your designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna. 31 home runs, 84 RBI, a .305 average. Batting cleanup and playing first, it's Matt Olson. 15 home runs, 48 RBI, .223. Travis d'Arnaud is back behind home plate with 9 home runs, 33 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .259. And batting sixth, and in left field, it's Eddie Rosario. 10 home runs, 34 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .182. Orlando Arcia is batting seventh and playing short. He has 9 home runs, 30 RBI, a .224 average. Patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves and batting eighth, Kid Kelnick. 12 home runs, 33 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .239. And another new face in the lineup, batting ninth and playing second base, it's Whit Merrifield. 3 home runs, 11 RBI, 12 stolen bases, batting .199. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Chris Sale Day. The conductor is 13-3 with a 2.68 ERA, a .92 whip, 117 in a third innings pitched, 83 hits allowed versus 149 strikeouts, 25 walks, 8 home runs served. He'll be going head-to-head with Freddie Peralta, who's 6-6 with a 3.94 ERA, a 1.21 whip, 114 in a third innings pitched, 8 hits, 142 strikeouts, 33 walks, and 16 home runs given up. Backing up Peralta in the bottom of the first inning and playing left field, it's Chourio. 12 home runs, 44 RBI, 12 stolen bases, and a .260 average for Jackson Chourio. Batting second, playing first, Rhys Hawkins. 18 home runs, 55 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .220. Gary Sanchez is back behind home plate and batting third. 7 home runs, 23 RBI, a .219 average. Willie Adames is batting cleanup and playing short. 17 home runs, 71 RBI, 12 stolen bases, batting .250. Ortiz is at third with 7 home runs, 32 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .249. And Perkins is in center field with 6 home runs, 28 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting .252. Sal Frelick is batting seventh and playing right. 2 home runs, 20 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting .266. And Haas is the designated hitter and batting eighth. 3 home runs, 8 RBI, a .370 average, 10 for 27 on the season. And Monasterio is batting ninth and playing second. He's got a .193 average, 1 home run, 10 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate today, it's Mark Rippiger. James John is your first base umpire. Second base will be manned by Alfonso Marquez, and down the third base line, it's Lance Barrett. Game time temperatures today are 81 degrees in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Your Atlanta Braves come in 8 games over 500, 27-28 on the road. The Milwaukee Brewers are 61-46, 31-20 at home. Your Atlanta Braves are minus 115 on the money line. The over-under is 7.5. Our pick to click today is Austin Riley. He's 5 for 10 with a home run and 2 RBI, 2 strikeouts, a .500 average, lifetime versus Freddie Peralta. Other guys to keep an eye on, Jorge Soler is 1 for 3. Orlando Arcia is also 1 for 3. Most of the Milwaukee Brewer lineup has not faced Chris Sale. Only Sanchez and Adames and Haas. Haas is the only one batting over 200. He's 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Brew Crew Game 3 of a 3-game set. It's the rubber match here between your Atlanta Braves and their former home Milwaukee Brewers. We've got the conductor emoji in the chat kicking for you Country Club members. Warm up those chopped arms, Country Club. Braves Country, get your game face on. We go home after this.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
No calls! Yeah, no calls!
You're in Braves country. You're in Braves country.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
No calls! Yeah, no calls!
You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves Country. Hope y'all are ready for the debut, the re-debut of Jorge Soler leading off for your Atlanta Braves. We are in our home Grays, and Atlanta across the chest. The navy ball cap with the white A. Milwaukee's in the off-white. Brewers jersey they had on last night, top to bottom. Blue caps with their classic Milwaukee Brewer logo on the front. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Freddie Peralta has a four-seam fastball, a slider, a changeup, a curve. Pretty much a four-pitch pitcher. He comes set, and yes, sir, It is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is swatted back foul by Jorge Soler, batting .240 on the year. It's 0-1. The 0-1 comes set, kicks and fires. Slider outside wide, 1-1. So 1-1 count, nothing your score, just getting started if you're just joining us here in Braves country. 12 home runs, 40 RBI, 749 OPS, but he's been hitting very well of late. The 1-1, 4-seam intercut, 1-2. Very tough customer, Freddie Peralta is. He pitches extremely well at home. So runs will be tough to come by. I'm going with the Braves to win this one, 5-1. The 1-2, swing, pops it up, high in the sky, into right field. Coming down, making the catch is Frelick in right. One away. Much different looking lineup today. I'm sure Soler, A, he's probably tired, and B, the butterflies are coming back to the Braves. Very popular player in the dugout. You got Chris Sale on the mound today, so we shouldn't need a ton of runs, but you do want to get him an early lead. First pitch to Riley is 94 up top, misses high. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Comes set, lets her go. Way outside wide, 2-0. Freddie Peralta is wearing gold shoes matching the gold lining of his catcher. People are wondering about that. They do have to be considered some sort of a team color. The 2-0. Swing, pops it up, got underneath that one. High in the sky. The roof is open, so there's going to be a sun to fight today. That was in the shade just past the third base mark. Two down. So 2 down. Marcell Ozuna stands in. Ozuna righty-righty matchup, batting .305 on the year. The pitch, curveball well outside wide. It's 1-0. Good news in New York. The Twins lead the Mets 6-2. The 1-0 pitch to the Big Zoo, 96 at the knees, 1-1. Home plate umpire Mark Rippinger has a much wider zone than last night's umpire Lance Barrett. The 1-1, swing, chops it foul. Yankees lead the Phillies 4-3, so that's good news for Atlanta Braves. That was an early start today. They're in the, I believe, the 8th. It's off in the background. That could be the 6th. It should be the 8th, though. The 1-2. Peralta lets it go. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for your Atlanta Braves. Chris Sale will grab the ball when we come back here on Braves Country. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my God, you smell like weed. Oh well, you smell like your husband left you for a younger woman, Carol. Shut the up.
Welcome to a day in the life of an umpire in the late 1800s. Many were ex-ball players with little to no prior experience. One umpire presided over a game, and that one umpire worked the entire homestand. They would stand behind the catcher until someone got on base. Once someone got on, they would move behind the pitcher and call balls and strikes from there. They were often responsible for many things at once, making sure runners touch bases, keeping an eye on the ball, and calling close plays. Sometimes all at the same time. It wasn't until 1885, 9 years after the first professional umpire, before they began wearing chest protectors for the first time. They were paid $5 by the home team per game. The home team chose the umpires from a list of 5 names submitted by the visiting club. Umpires were routinely spiked, kicked, cursed, and spat on by players while fans hurled debris at them from the stands. Despite there being no dress code, they often wore a top hat, a Prince Albert coat, and a cane. There was a high turnover rate due to low pay and poor working conditions.
Question 2. Who would you rather spend the night with? A, your wife, or B?
B.
Kirk Gibson walking off Game 1 of the 1988 World Series is one of the most iconic home runs of all time. Despite how famous the play is, nobody knows where the home run ball itself is located. The bat, helmet, and jersey from that moment are all accounted for, but the ball has seemingly disappeared.
Walk around Walmart eating grapes all day, nobody says a word. I open one Miller Life, they call the law.
Eddie Collins first played in Connie Mack's celebrated $100,000 infield, but was sent to the Chicago White Sox when Mack sold off his championship team. Collins hit over .340 for 10 seasons and played second base with such cheerful confidence in his own skills that opponents and teammates alike called him Cocky Collins.
Welcome back. The conductor, Chris Sale, stands in. First pitch on the way from Chris is a 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Rippinger says it misses high. It's 1-0. Looked like it might have just touched the top. The 1-0. Swing, fouls it back 95 miles an hour. Straight to the backstop, it's 1-1. Braves nothing, Brewers nothing. The debut of Jorge Soler 2.0, and Whit Merrifield is in the lineup. The 1-1 swing, that ball's lifted into left field. That is going to get down for a base hit into the sunshine, into left field, and Eddie Rosario grabs it and flips it into the infield. 1 on, nobody out. If you've never faced Chris Sale before, you got to figure, I think a lot of these guys are going to be sitting on that slider, because you're going to have to guess at one or the other. And if you guess on the fastball, you're going to be well in front of that slider. Rhys Hoskins stands in, first pitch on the way, slider at the knees, it's 0-1. Hoskins has faced Sale before. One of the few. The 0-1, 1 on, nobody out. Sale comes set, lifts his red glove and fires it. Swing, that ball's laced into short, just past Arcia, and it's going to be runners on first and second, nobody out. Eddie Rosario continues to do that candy lollipop throw into the infield. Someone's eventually going to take advantage on it. It's a very lazy approach. And eventually someone with some speed is going to take a base on him. I'm really surprised that they have not done anything to remedy that. But nonetheless, runners on first and second, nobody out. Sanchez comes to the plate, first pitch. Swing and a miss, 96 up top. It's 0-1. Sanchez, batting .219 on the year, he has 7 home runs. He's got some pop, the former New York Yankee. The 0-1. Sale comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, 96 up top. 0-2. So an 0-2 count, you'd love for him to roll one over and get a double play, but we'd take a strikeout as well. Braves nothing, Brewers nothing, bottom of the first. Whit Merrifield playing second. You do wonder about the double play combination with Arcia and Merrifield getting together for the first time. It's my biggest concern about the defense today. Soler's not known as a great right fielder, but he's not necessarily Rosario either. He'll give you effort. The 0-2. Fastball misses high, well high, 1-2. So 1-2 count. We'll stay right here in between the break and take care of roll call. Didn't get a chance to get to that today. The 1-2. Swung on, pops it up. Will it stay in play? Riley gives chase over by the... Whoa! He goes down the dugout. Not a single Brave is over there to catch him. He does appear to be okay. You're... Continue of a lack of leadership in that dugout. They're all just sitting around. You're always supposed to have your guys there to help your guys, when they come close. Anyways, back to it. A 1-2 count, 2 on, nobody out. Very lucky that didn't turn into an injury. Four-seam fastball up and in, 2-2. Nacho Alvarez was sent back down. The 2-2 swung on, that ball is blasted into the gap. It's down for base hit. Eddie Rosario cuts it off, fires it into the infield. And I don't know how that happened. I guess because Sanchez really is that slow. But Sanchez will be on first. We'll have runners on the corners, and the Braves trail 1-0. That looked like a ball that you would normally easily take two. He might have been admiring it a little bit, but didn't appear to be taking too much time. So that will keep the double play in order, but Willie Adames, who has just been an absolute nightmare in this series, comes to the plate. Nobody out, runners on the corners. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, slider underneath, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Comes set, kicks and fires, swung on, chopped foul. 0-2. 0-2 count. Looking at the standings today, if you didn't catch up with everything last night, take a look at the wildcard standings here in 1 second. The 0-2 from Sale. Lets her go. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Conductor is rolling. First strikeout of the day. All aboard. Whoa, whoa. Maybe that'll get him going here. Yeah, it was Nacho Year. Alvarez, he's been sent down on the mound. We'll get up on the transactions here in 1 second. First pitch on the way from Sale is a slider down and in to Ortiz. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Runners on the corners, 1 out. A double play would get us out of this mess. Pitch on the way, 97 outside wide, 2-0. To make room for Luke Jackson and Jorge Soler, Bryce Elder was optioned back down to AAA, and Nacho Alvarez rode beside him. That experiment appears to be over. Just 3 hits in 2 weeks. The 2-0. 97 up top. Hit the zone, but another bad call by Rippiger. He's one of our least favorite ones that we get. And I don't know why we get him so often. So a 3-0 count, you don't really want to lay one in there. You got the lefty Frelick coming up. Darno sets inside. Fastball nowhere near the zone, ball 4. So the bases are loaded and 1 out, and this is where you would like to see someone go out and talk to Sale, but we know that they rarely do that. It appears they made a change at the last minute. So Perkins is going to be batting 6th. Frelick is now batting 7th. Haas 8th and Monasterio. That's not what was on the original scorecard. So the right-hander Perkins comes to the plate batting .252. Sale, 19th pitch of the day. Swing, fouls it straight back. Fastball, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Yeah, Charlie, Elder did pitch a great game, but he was always going to be sent back down. It's just a numbers game. You can't have that many starting pitchers on your roster, and he has options. The 0-1, swung on, sliced back foul, 0-2. So he's got another one in the hole. Hopefully this time Travis can dial up the right pitch. Chris Sale said in an interview last time out that he does not question, he's never questioned, never shaken off the catcher. He just goes out there and throws whatever he tells him to. The 0-2, swung on, lifted high and deep, into right field. Will the stadium hold it? It will. Making the catch is Soler. He'll fire it into the infield, but it's 2-0 Milwaukee. And they'll have runners on the corners, 2 away. I found that very interesting. Someone as good as Sale, as great as he's been over his career, it says he is never questioned. He just tells the catcher, tell him what to throw. I can see some of that. He just doesn't want to be in his own head. He wants to just focus on performing. But, man, that puts a lot of pressure on your catcher because now everybody knows. It has got nothing to do with what Chris Sale thinks. It's all Travis. First pitch on the way. Check swing foul. 97 into the third base dugout. It's 0-1. Still can't get over the fact that Austin Riley is going towards our dugout and slips on the steps. Nobody's there to catch him. Nothing. Luckily, he's okay. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 0-1. Sale just had his soft toss over there to first. He's got a much better pickoff that he may go to. The 0-1. It's interesting. Luke Jackson is in the dugout, and it doesn't appear that he's available today. He's not pitched since the 26th. The 0-1 swung on, pops it up high. Fairly deep, but Soler will get underneath it, and that'll end the inning. So we cough up 2 runs, but in the same token, could have been a lot worse. We'll grab the bats. Top of the second we go.
So I was on my way home the other day, and I seen this homeless man. I stopped to check on him. He said, hey, bud, you couldn't spare a couple dollars, could you? I opened my wallet and had $2 in it. I said, yeah, I got $2 here, and went to hand it to him, and I stopped, and I said, hey, I'm just curious. You're going to spend this money on alcohol, are you? Whiskey, wine, anything like that? He said, no, sir. I said, I quit drinking many years ago. And I was like, well, all right, that's good, but you ain't going to spend it on gambling, are you? Like lottery tickets and stuff? He said, no, sir. I quit that gambling years ago. I'm just trying to get day by day, man. Every little bit helps. I said, all right, well, you ain't going to spend it on them there drugs, are you? Cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamines? He said, no, I give up doing the drugs too, bud. He said, I'm just trying to get myself together. I said, all right, well, hold on. You know what? I'm going to take this $2 back home, and I'm just going to take you with me. And I'm going to get my wife cook you a hot meal. And he said, well, I'm much obliged, sir. I surely appreciate it. He said, well, why would you do that? I said, I just want to show what happens if I was to quit drinking lottery and get off cocaine.
First baseman Hal Chase, Prince Hal, was charming and skilled enough to...
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah! Roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Time for a little roll call. I see So the super chats are for the cup, right? You got it? All right, let's go ahead and get into roll call real quick. We're just going to rattle them off. These early games always throw off for timing. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Charlie Pittman, the GOAT, is back. First pitch on the way from Peralta is off the plate wide to Matt Olson, who stands in on the left-hand side of the plate. It's 1-0. Good to see John, Russell, Brian, Gary the Real McCoy. The 1-0 swung on, foul back. One and one. LIL, Tim is in the chat. Grandma King, good to see you. Nathaniel Brooks, Country Club member. Brian Andrews, Country Club member. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, 93 up top. It's 1-2. Country Club members, GOAT, Charlie Pittman, McCoy. Who else do we have here in the chat? Trying to go through these pretty quickly. If I'm missing anybody, just shoot it back in. The 1-2. Peralta kicks and fires. High and out of the zone. 2-2. David Thomas. Go for Wendy's right about now. The Chicken Wrangler, whatever that is. Can only imagine what that is. Jay Boy, something like that. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Olsen down on strikes, 1 away. John Chill is in the chat. Jay in the chat. Yelton in the chat. Willis, what you talking about, Willis? Is in the chat today. I'm assuming old Chicken Head is saying some pretty bad things. We'll take care of that. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Outside wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count to d'Arnaud. Pitch on the way, inside 93 miles an hour. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Peralta brings it, swung on, lifted high, not very deep. Into right center field, making an easy catch is Perkins, 2 away. So 2 down. Eddie Rosario will come to the plate. First pitch to Eddie is down and in. Did he go around? They checked down to third base umpire Lance Barrett. He says he did not. It's 1-0. That sun will start to creep across here in the next few innings. The 1-0. Down below the knee. Whoa! Well below the knees. 1-1. Another terrible call by Mark Rippinger. The 1-1. Fastball up high. Just misses. Ball 2, 2-1. That slider, for those of y'all listening on radio, that slider that he called a strike on the last or the 2 previous pitches, it was an easy 3 inches below the zone. The 2-1. Outside wide, ball 3, 3-1. Orlando Arcia stands on deck. The Twins have added another run. They lead 7-2 over the Mets in the 5th. So a 3-1 count. Sanchez went out there to chat with Peralta real quick. Not sure what the issue is, but maybe they're getting messed up on their signs. The 3-1 delivery. Swing. Pops it up high. Out of the zone. 3-2. Another 4-seam fastball that Eddie just cannot lay off of. I think that's one of the most disappointing things about this trade deadline is they really didn't do anything about the left side of the plate when Duvall is off. Eddie's not exactly the 3-2, way outside wide, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. I think they're just hoping he gets hot like he did in the playoffs. That was 3 long years ago. All right, go. We'll make sure to get that out to you, bud. Just saw your answer. lot of stuff going on here. So Braves have one on, 2 out. The first pitch to Arcia is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Arcia gotten a little hot as of late. See if he can keep it going. The 1-0. Right there at the knees for a strike. Looked like the slider, 1-1. Lando Arcia, his last 7 games, believe it or not, he's batting .350. He's batting .353 over the last 2 weeks. The 1-1, Eddie Rosario goes, high throw, easily stolen base. And Eddie's into scoring position, good base running. The 2-1, down and away. Did not go around. 3-1. So a 3-1 count. I can't scroll back up through that good. I didn't read the super chat. I was busy getting ready for the broadcast. Just put it back in the chat. I can see the chat now. During the pregame, I'm doing about 100 different things, and I rarely see that. Every once in a while, I see the screen. The 3-1, right there, slider taken, 3-2. So a 3-2 count. Payoff pitch from Peralta. Runner at second. Swing, fouls it away, 98 miles an hour. Well out of play. We'll do it again. Could be setting him up for another slider. He's got that four-seam slider. Those are the 2 pitches he really lives on. He will throw that changeup in there about 15% of the time, and just to keep you honest, he does have a curveball. The payoff pitch from Peralta. Swung on, chopped over towards short. Going to have to hurry. And the ball is going to come out of the glove of Willie Adames. Good job by Peralta to corral the ball to prevent Eddie Rosario from scoring. That ball could have really rolled away. We got runners on the corners, 2 outs. And that'll most likely be an E6. I don't know if they'll take into consideration how slow of a runner Arcia is, but he should have gotten him by a mile. Instead, runners on the corners, 2 outs. We'll take it. And the struggling bat of Jared Kelnick will come to the plate. He did get into one last night. First pitch, fastball up top, did not go around. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. The 1-0, outside wide, ball 2-0. On deck is Whit Merrifield. So they could be pitching around him. He is a right-hander. The 2-0 pitch from Peralta. Swing and a miss. Fastball right down the pipe, 2-1. The 2-1. The pitch on the way. Swung on. Fouled back out of play. We'll do it again. Braves nothing, Milwaukee 2. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the second, deuces wild, the pitch. Inside, 96 miles an hour, close take, but we got the call. We'll take it. You got a payoff pitch. It looked like it probably missed inside, but it was so close. If he would have rang him up, there's really no argument you can have other than swing the bat. The payoff pitch, runner goes. Inside ball. Oh, they're going to call him for a strikeout. Down low in the zone. That's an arguable call, but once again, get your bat off your shoulder, son. We'll be back.
Why did the old man fall into the well? Because he couldn't see that well.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
We're in place, Buford, you listening? Now get this. That's when the subcommittee had to reallocate the funds, and then
Lou Gehrig hit his first career home run on September 27, 1923. He hit his final home run on September 27, 1938. In total, he hit 5 home runs on September 27th. 2 of those came off of Hall of Famer Lefty Grove in 1931 and 1933.
One of baseball's most beloved stars was Cleveland pitcher Addie Joss. He was nicknamed the human hairpin because of his height and the exaggerated motion with which he hurled the ball. He had won 20 or more games 4 seasons in a row and was a favorite with fans and players alike. Even opposing players enjoyed hearing him harmonize with Ed Walsh of the Chicago White Sox. But Joss had a terrible secret. He was suffering from meningitis. He struggled through the 1910 season, even pitched a no-hitter without telling anyone. But he collapsed before an exhibition game the following spring. Joss died 11 days later.
Back to the bottom of the second inning. Braves trail 2-0. Chris Hill trying to straighten things out. First pitch on the way. Slider slapped the zone. Another blown call by Rippinger. On my count, that is at least 5 or 6 pitches that he has already blown calls. The 1-0. Same spot, same pitch, this time a strike. Go figure. So a 1-1 count. The pitch, swing, lifts it high. Not deep enough. Just before the warning track, Jerry Kelnick will make the catch. 1 away. One down. Chris Sale at 26 pitches here in the second. First pitch on the way. 94 on the edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Willis says, but Snick won't move in the batting order. I don't know if you're talking about Arcia. He is actually hitting a little higher. He's batting 7th nowadays. He's not a good enough batter to hit much higher. The 0-2. Down and away. Did he go around? They checked down to first base umpire James John. He said no dice, 1-2. So 1-2 count. Remember, Arcia was batting 9th for a long time. The 1-2, way outside wide, 2-2. If you put Arcia in the middle of the top of that order, teams are just going to pitch around him. I mean, they're going to pitch around other guys to get to him. You don't want to see his. It's great that he's on a hot streak, but that's literally what it is. The 2-2, swung on, lifted high, left field, fighting the sun, making the catches. Arcia, pretty good defensive play there. 2 away. That sun, man, it is high and bright in the sky. Rosario was Cadillacing it over there. But Riley, I don't know if he would have had a chance of making that catch because he would have had to turn around with that sun in that angle. That would have been a tough one. Little surprised they don't have sunglasses on. We went through this earlier in the year. First pitch on the way to Churio is inside. They said he went around. It's 0-1. Oh, yeah. Kelnick has been moved in the order big time. I didn't think you were talking about Kid Kelnick because he's batting 8th. The 0-1, down and in, 1-1. Jared Kelnick had been batting leadoff for the past almost 2 months, and he's now batting 8th today because of the addition of Soler. The 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Change up over the top 1-2. And I know you could make an argument to bench him from time to time, and they could with Duvall in center, but you don't gain much offensively with Duvall nowadays if a right-hander's on the mound, and Kelnick is just an elite defender. I don't think you want to take him out of the lineup if you don't have to. The 1-2 from Sale. In the dirt, 2-2. It'd be interesting as they start to try to figure out game plans. I think you're going to see a pretty straight platoon of Duvall and Eddie, meaning once they bring in a lefty to face Eddie, Duvall's coming in. The 2-2 swung on, lifted high and deep into center field. That's going to go off the wall. Kelnick plays it on the carry and fires it into the infield. It's going to be a 2-out double for Jackson Churio. That almost left the yard. It's a 4-seam fastball. He hit the spot that Darnode was set up at. I mean, he's pretty much setting. I think Darnode's set up a little too inside on that plate there. He might want to inch across because the pitcher's going to turn around and just fire at his target. And his glove was getting a lot of the plate. So Reese Hoskins comes to the plate. First pitch on the way. Slider right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Hoskins 1 for 1 on the day. He singled to left. Scored a run. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Down and in, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves defense is back into the left. Huge hole on the right-hand side. The pitch swung on, chopped off the plate. We'll do it again. They're hoping that Michael Harris will be back in about 2 weeks. I would think, the 14th of August is when he's first eligible. That is a Wednesday. They may wait till that weekend series on the 16th, depending on if he has to go do rehab assignment and how long it's going to be. The 1-2 swung on, popped up, foul, out of play. Chris Sale just threw his 40th pitch, so we got to keep an eye on that. You no longer have the ability to go get Grant Holmes because he threw 5 innings Monday night. He's not coming into the game. So if Sale can't go deep into the game, it's going to get dicey. The 1-2 from Sale. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Man, did we need that one. So Sale gets out of the jam. We come to back. The 2 new guys are batting back-to-back. We'll be back in a flash.
Michigan-Ohio State feels like you're asking me to pick which one of your kids is my favorite, and I just can't, because I don't like any of your kids.
Camden Yards is where the Baltimore Orioles play their home games. The ballpark was actually built very close to where Babe Ruth was born. In fact, Ruth's father allegedly owned a pub exactly where center field is today.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down. I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And, hey, it's happy hour somewhere. Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, babe. Yeah. I decided that tonight I'm going to skip out on Tuesday Night Football and take you on a date.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to?
Yeah.
We can go get sushi or something.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Yay! Actually?
Yeah. I figured I'd put a break on football for a little bit, just because I feel like we watch it a lot.
It's a game where the emphasis during the course of it is put on a single individual. Fly ball goes out towards the left fielder, and he has this moment of what's going to happen. Fred Snodgrass, who was one of the great players for the Giants back in the old days, I think it was in 1912 he missed a fly ball which lost the Giants the World Series. When he died, this enormously successful man at the age of 83 or something like that, a banker in California or whatever, Fred Snodgrass dies, muffed fly ball in 1912. I mean, this, and despite his success, despite his joys or grandchildren and so forth, there was this one stigma that was attached to him for the rest of his life. So it does indeed have to do with, you better catch that fly ball out in left field or you're marked forever.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Whit Merrifield, the merry-go-round comes to the plate. First pitch on the way, 95 at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Merrifield batting 199 on the year. Sure, I'm glad we were able to add all these guys that can't hit 200. The 0-1, down and away, 1-1. I do expect him to give us a much, much more professional at-bats than some of the other guys. If you're not familiar with Merrifield, 35 years old, it once was an all-star for the Royals, is the 1-1, down and away, 2-1. 2-1 count. He has a lifetime batting average of 281. 93 home runs, 481 RBI. The 2-1. Swung on, sliced back, foul, 2-2. We all know that Father Time is undefeated. But there was a time where Whit Merrifield, former South Carolina Gamecock, was a top second baseman in baseball. He was also very coveted along a lot of trading deadlines. Kansas City never really sold him. The 2-2, swing, knocks it down the right field line, coming over, making the catch. Sal Frelick went away. There were a couple of trading deadlines the past few years. 2021 is one that really comes to mind that the Braves fans are hoping to add Merrifield. Then he went to Toronto in a deal and then stayed with Toronto until 2023. First pitch on the way to Soler. Swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Signed with the Phillies this year. Phillies released him after they had some guys come back off the IL. The 0-1. High and inside, almost gets him. 1-1. You kind of see that from time to time with Soler. He really does like to hang out over the plate, so he will get brushed back. Surprised he doesn't wear armor on his left arm. The 1-1. Chop foul down the line, 1-2. So 1-2 count. Righty. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Slider got him, 2 down. Knew this was going to be a tough one with Peralta. He always pitches well at home. He normally pitches well against Atlanta. He's a nasty strikeout pitcher. Very good right-hander. His biggest problem over his entire career has been staying healthy. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley. The slider on the outer edge, it's 0-1. Peralta from the Dominican Republic, 28-year-old, 93 inside and high, 1-1. So that can't be a mistake. That is the second batter he has started off with a slider out and a fastball high and in. And each time, the hind catcher, Sanchez, hasn't even flinched. He's just raised up to grab the ball. The 1-1. 96 outside wide, 2-1. Trying to play that inside-out game to keep you off balance. He has been a Brewer his entire career, came up in 2018. The 2-1 pitch, outside wide. Austin Riley, ball 3-1. Lifetime record of 48-33, a 3.84 ERA, and a whip of 1.14. The 3-1 to Riley. They set up outside. Swing. That ball's lifted high, deep into right field. Going back on the track, making the catch is Frelick, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash. Sanchez in the middle of the order for the Brewers.
What are you putting on makeup? When you find the pumps to match your skirt. Get out in the gym and start warming up. Let's go.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Kevin Youkilis is known for having a very interesting batting stance. He's also known for working a lot of walks and having a great mindset at the plate. Over his 10-year career, he had 297 plate appearances that went to a 3-0 count, and every single time he didn't swing the bat. Francisco Liriano, in 2012 he signed a deal with the Pirates, but the contract was quickly voided. This is because he broke his arm trying to scare his kids on Christmas, but the deal went through a few months later.
Armchair.
John McGraw's New York Giants had never really recovered from the Merkle boner, the base-running error that cost them the pennant in 1908. Though they remained a perennial National League power with superb pitchers like Christy Mathewson and Rube Marquard, and won the pennant in 1911, they couldn't seem to win a World Series. Then, in 1912, after dominating the league throughout the season, they faced one of the greatest of all Boston Red Sox teams in the World Series. The Red Sox had won 105 games, an American League record, and their intimidating lineup included Harry Hooper, Tris Speaker, and a dazzling fastball pitcher named Smokey Joe Wood.
Smokey Joe Wood was a pitcher who, though not remembered nearly as well as Walter Johnson, was at his peak his equal, and such that in the 1912 season they both had these extraordinary streaks of winning 16 consecutive games. When he was at his prime, it was Walter Johnson who said of him, "There's no man alive throws as hard as Smokey Joe Wood."
Welcome back. Hoping Soler does something here in the near future. We can get a couple of new sound bites for when he gets a hit or when he hits a home run. 2-0 your score. Milwaukee leads. We head to the bottom of the third. Sanchez will lead us off. The first pitch on the way. Slider on the inner cut. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chopped foul, 0-2. The 0-2 count. Looking at the wild card standings, by the way, the Braves come into today, half game in front of San Diego, half game in front of the Mets. Those are the top 3 teams in the wild card. The 0-2, swung on, foul back. Do it again. Mets are currently down 7-2 in the 6th versus Lopez and the Twins. San Diego's in the middle of a quick 2-game Dodger series that will conclude tonight as the 0-2 fouled off. Do it again, 0-2. The Diamondbacks are a half game out of the wild card race. Pittsburgh 2, along with St. Louis, they are 2 out. And after that, there's quite a bit of a drop-off as the 0-2. Swung on, lifted into center field. Drifting over, making the catch is Kelenic, 1 away. Sitting 5 back of the last wild card spot, San Francisco and Cincinnati. And then if you really want to continue it, The Cubs are 7 back. Washington 8.5. And Miami and the Rockies are 3 weeks behind. In the American League, as the first pitch on the way to Willie Adames is off the plate wide, it's 1-0. Adames 0 for 1. Seattle, Baltimore, and Cleveland, they lead their divisions currently as the 1-0. Swung on and missed, 1-1. Yankees, Twins, and Royals are all sitting atop in the wild card race. 2 back are the Red Sox behind a flat-footed tie between the Royals and Twins. The 1-1 right there at the knees for a strike, 1-2. Nice slider by Chris. Houston 3.5 along with Tampa Bay and Texas. Their only shot is the division. They sit 7 back. After that, there's a huge drop-off in the American League. The 1-2. That ball hit the top of the zone. Didn't get the call once again. Rippinger with his 7th poor call of the day. You got to give him that pitch. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's up there on the top shelf. The 2-2. Swung on. Dragged foul. We'll do it again. American League, the top of the American League has much better records, but it's uneven. It's a top-heavy league this year. The National League is much more even, the 2-2. Swinging and a miss, strike 3. Finally gets him down on strikes, 2 away. That may not seem like a big deal, but he had to waste 2 extra pitches to get him out. When you got a high pitch count like Sale does, he is sitting at 52 pitches, 2 outs here in the third. That can add up. As far as the division races, there aren't many. That's why we continue to talk about the wild card, because if you look at the division races, Yankees and Baltimore have a half game between them. So that's a true race. First pitch to Ortiz is a slider inside. It's 1-0. Cleveland is a week in front of Minnesota and Kansas City, 6.5 on both of them. And Seattle has a 1-game lead over Houston. This is the 1-0, called for a wide strike. 1-1. But in the National League, there is no true division race. The 1-1, right below the knees, 1-2. Braves sit 7.5 behind Philly, though it has gotten closer. That's not a true race. Pittsburgh and St. Louis 6 behind Milwaukee, and San Diego 5.5 behind LA. The 1-2 inside, misses. Sinker up top. It's 2-2. You have to get within a series for me to consider it a race, meaning within 3 games. The 2-2. Caught, looking strike 3. Finally rang him up on one, and that'll end the inning. Chris Sale is starting to sail along. Braves got to get him some runs. Heart of the order coming to the dish.
Can I have the keys? No! You're out of my will! You're out of my will! That's right. We'll see who croaks first.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Herman Long was a shortstop who played at the turn of the 20th century who set a record in 1889. The record he set was the most errors in a single season with 122, which he accomplished in just 136 games. For reference, the most errors by a player in 2021 was only 24.
LeBron James playing at the level he's playing this year already. I mean, it is unbelievable.
I got to remember to record this, man.
Yeah, you're not editing nothing. You don't got that talent right now.
Armchair.
The 1912 World Series was a fiercely fought contest, on and off the field. Fans followed the action by telegraph and on scoreboards mounted in saloons and city squares all across the country.
When I was 13 years old, I got a job posting scores in an old-fashioned corner saloon at 85th Street and 1st Avenue. At World Series time, a complete play-by-play came over the ticker, and the management had me stand on a platform and read the tape in a loud voice. This was 1912, remember? Giants and the Red Sox. when the saloon was jammed to overflowing with hundreds inside and out, eagerly following each game's progress.
No individual, whether player, manager, owner, critic, or spectator, who went through the 1912 World Series will ever forget it. There never was another like it. From the lofty perch of the bleacherite, it was a series crammed with thrills and gulps, cheers and gasps, dejection and wild exultation, recrimination and adoration, excuse and condemnation. Spalding Guide.
Welcome back to Breaks Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Kicks and fires. Another pitch well below the knees. That's the 9th blown call of the day by Rippinger. 0-2. Ozuna's going to take his time out. While he does that, we'll go ahead and thank y'all for smashing the like button.
Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
So an 0-2 to Ozuna. They set up well outside wide pitch. Down and away, 1-2. Yankees are clinging to a 1-run lead over the Phillies. Braves come home to face 4 against the Marlins starting tomorrow. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. That series starts tomorrow night, 7:20 first pitch Friday night, 7:20 first pitch Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. Then a day game on Sunday. And then the Braves will finally have a day off. First one since the All-Star break. First pitch from Peralta to Olsen is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Peralta comes set. Shakes off the pitch, kicks and fires. Way outside wide, 2-0. Braves trail 2-0. Peralta at 58 pitches. Little high for this part of the game, but not too terribly high. You'd like to see Braves extend a long inning on it. The 2-0. Swung on, lifted high, deep into left center field, going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone! Ram-a-lam-a ding-dong, solo shot. The Ice House goes yard, 390 happy feet, 102 miles an hour off the bat. His 16th home run, 49th RBI, and your Atlanta Braves cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Man, that was a close one. I thought it was going to possibly get caught at the wall, but once Churio took those last couple of steps and gave up, you knew it was gone. The first pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is going back. Duck, that's headed to a backyard near you. That, boys and girls, is light tower power. And Travis d'Arnaud, back-to-back jacks, that's a fact. 2-2 against the Brew Crew here in the top of the 4th inning. That was a hanging slider. Went into the second deck here in Milwaukee. The 2-2 your score, brand new ball game. I love the fact that they showed Jorge Soler watching it, and you could read his mouth. He said, wow. First pitch on the way to Eddie Rosario is up top, high and wide. It's 0-1. Eddie shakes his head. I'm going to continue to count these. That is the 10th blown call by Rippinger. for both sides total. The 0-1. Outside wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss over the top, 1-2. Braves 2, Brewers 2. If you're just joining us, moments ago, back-to-back home runs into left field by Olsen and d'Arnaud. The 1-2, swung on, foul back. We'll do it again. Charlie says, that's my pick. Charlie, isn't that always your pick? Isn't Travis d'Arnaud always the pick? We're going to have some counseling when he finally retires. The 1-2. Down and in, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. 2-2 your score. Deuces wild here in the fourth inning. Peralta comes set. Fastball, swing and a miss, 95 up top, blew it right by him. Let her high, 2 away. We've said it many times before, but I don't know why any pitcher throws him anything down in the zone, because he'll always chase up around the letters, and he can't handle it. It's one thing if you're a high ball hitter and you chase, okay. But when you're a low ball hitter and you chase up high, it makes no sense. He can't stop himself. First pitch to Orlando Arcia, who's 1 for 1. Is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Pitch on the way. Just missed off the plate. Bad call. Not a terrible call. I won't count that one. It's 1-1. That one might have just kissed the black. 1-1 pitch. Peralta. Swing. Pops it up. If it stays in play, it's going to be an out, but Contreras chases it back towards the dugout side of the Brewers. Of the Braves. Third base, it's going to go into the crowd, 1-2. Braves 2, Brewers 2. Top of the fourth. A 1-2 count to Peralta. The 71st pitch, high and out of the zone, 2-2. So not only did we score 2 runs, but we've also had him labor quite a bit in this inning, which is good. You'd like to see him out by the 5th. And that's actually possible now. The 2-2. Swing, hammered over to third, backhanded, and fired across the infield. Ortiz to Hoskins, and that'll end the inning. Hard hit ball by Arcia, but right into the teeth of the defense. But out for your Atlanta Braves. Put 2 on the board. Brand new ball game here in Milwaukee.
So here's what I think you should do. You should write letters to all the people in your life who have wronged you, but who you don't want to have in your life anymore, and then throw them in the fire and burn them. Okay, but what do I do with the letter?
What would you say is your #1 holiday film that you have to watch every year?
My favorite holiday film, you know what? It's got to be Elf. Because once again, Jon Favreau, I don't know if I'm saying it right, and Will Ferrell just knocking it out the park.
Could have said your own movie.
Do I have a Christmas movie? Which one is mine? Oh, The Holiday! Obviously The Holiday. Nancy Myers, genius. Let's do this.
We're baseball players. I'm going to buy a brand new wood bat, take one swing, and it's going to snap. We're baseball players. I spend more time warming up than I actually do playing catch. We're baseball players. We're all addicted to caffeine. We're baseball players. I'm going to overthrow you in catch play and say, that's my bad. But in reality, don't care. We're baseball players. We wear Oakleys everywhere we go because how are you going to know I'm raw at baseball? We're baseball players. I'm going to go down looking on 3 pitches. And when the dugout asks how the pitcher was, I'm going to say he sucks. We're baseball players. I'm going to bring a fresh bag of seeds to the game, and they're going to be gone by the end. We're baseball players. We're going to reference the movie Benchwarmers anytime we get a chance.
What are you doing? Eating day-old donuts. My friend Terrence, he's the manager. He leaves them out back for me.
Why?
It's called eating your feelings, ass bag. Mom's going to walk into the bus till I'm 40, all right?
If you ever want to break into Randy Johnson's house, you might want to think again. When being interviewed about gun violence in 1995, Johnson was quoted as saying, "I don't own a gun, but I keep a bag of baseballs near our bed. If someone breaks in, they better be wearing a batting helmet because I'm going to throw at their head."
For over half a century, I've had to live with the fact that I dropped a ball in a World Series. Oh, yes, you're the guy that dropped that fly ball, aren't you? And for years and years, whenever I'd be introduced to somebody, they'd start saying something and then stop, you know. Afraid of hurting my feelings.
John McGraw felt so bad for his center fielder that he raised Snodgrass's salary $1,000.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Of course, Sale's been given 2 runs now in a tie ball game. See what he can do with it. The first pitch to Perkins is a slider down below the knees. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Outside wide. 2-0. 2-0 count. Pitch on the way. Inside, nowhere near the zone. Ball 3-3-0. They are in the 9th inning in Philadelphia. The Yankees lead at 6-5. They are at bat. The 3-0. Fastball right down the pipe, taken all the way by Perkins, 3-1. You give him a couple runs, you expect him to go out there and really handle the middle to bottom of the order. Let's not start something bad here, Sale. The 3-1 pitch, 62nd of the day. Fastball hit the top of the zone. Another blown call. And he'll head on down to first with a walk. Blue normally calls that a strike. I've seen those rung up many a times for Sale, but he'll have to deal with what's going on here. Sal Frelick will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a fly ball. First pitch on the way. 97 miles an hour up top. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Sale comes set. Lets her go. Swung on, chopped over towards third. Past Riley. It's going to dribble into left field, and they got runners on first and second. Once again, no, the runner is going to be out. Wow. Frelick tried to turn that into a double. Just as I was saying first and second, the runner at first was turning, heading towards third, so I was going to clean that part up, but Frelick got way too greedy there, and he was gunned down. Ooh, that's close. Does look like he got his fingertip, and I don't think the Brewers are going to challenge that. I like how Rosario's stretching his arm out like he's a defensive wizard now. Haas comes to the plate. First pitch on the way. Slider at the knees. It's 0-1. Braves infield will come in. Runner at third and 1 out. If you're dealing with that, anything hard to hit through the infield is going to have to be a atom ball or a run will score. The 0-1. Swung on. Chopped foul. 0-2. What you'd hope for is a strikeout here. On deck is Monasterio. It's not really ideal to try to pitch around him and set up the double play because Monasterio does have speed. So an 0-2 from Sale. And if he was getting that high fastball call, I would say that's where you go here, but he's not getting it, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the changeup. Good call by Darnode. 2 away. Chris Sale, with now his 5th strikeout of the game. Two down, the infield can now play back. First pitch on the way to Monasterio is 98 up top for a strike. It's 0-1. What you'd hope for in today's game is Sale gets you at least through 6 innings, and then you can build the rest with the back of the bullpen. Once again, I don't believe Luke Jackson is available today. He's in the dugout with a sweatshirt on. The 0-1. Right there for a strike. 0-2. If he were available, they would have him in the bullpen is the main point. But you never know. They could always send him down there during the game. He hasn't pitched in 5 days, so he should be available, but the 0-2, high and inside, 1-2. Depends on what time they got in and got to sleep. And this is an early start. That probably has a lot to do with it. The Braves bullpen is pretty well rested. So an 0-2 to Monasterio. He flew out in the second. Runner at third. The go-ahead run, the 1-2. Swung on, lifted into right field, drifting over. Making the catch is that man Soler. And that'll end the inning. So they threaten but can't get it done when we come back. Kid Kelnick, Merrifield, and Jorge Soler.
This is a message to everybody who lives in my head rent-free. I'm going to need some rent. I know it's hard out here for everybody, but I am going to need that rent plus a $500 deposit. I know, but I'm going to need that ASAP, like by the 1st, or you got to kick rocks. But as you know, it's very spacious, you know what I'm saying? No pet fee, and I'm going to have somebody come and look at all those loose screws.
What can I say? I guess you're on to me. You said you'd take a bullet for me. You'd never take a bullet for me. Probably not. No one ever takes a bullet. It's just something people say that they don't mean, like, how was your day? Or, we'll stop if it hurts.
Here are some baseball facts you might not have known. When the Dodgers beat the Giants in the 2021 NLDS, it was Max Scherzer who closed out the game. Because the score was 2-1, Scherzer was credited with a save. It was the very first save of Scherzer's 16-year-long professional career. In 1980, the legendary Willie Mays was actually banned from baseball. Commissioner Bally Coon learned that Mays had taken a job at a casino and was concerned that he would gamble, even though he only worked there as a greeter. The ban didn't last long and was reversed 5 years later in 1985.
If you have to pick up something heavy, don't ask for any help. Throw your back out. Be a man.
In 1912, Boston fans had both a championship and a bright new ballpark to boast about. It was there they had beaten the New York Giants, and fans were convinced it had brought them good luck. Built in a marshy area called the Fens, the park's most prominent features included a badly sloping left field that was called Duffy's Cliff because Red Sox left fielder Duffy Lewis had learned to play it so well. The left field wall was just 320 feet from home plate and was very friendly to right-handed hitters and very damaging to the windows of store owners across the street.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Jared Kelnick leads us off. Peralta, 73rd pitch of the day, swung on, lifted high, deep into center field, drifting back at the wall. That ball, did he catch it? He just caught it. Robbed is a better word. Jared Kelnick, of what would have been his 13th home run of the year, it made it over the wall. But Perkins was able to leap to the top and just get it a foot further, and we've got a lead. Man, oh man. The ultimate game of inches. First pitch on the way to Merrifield is right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. I think you might see Kelnick come out of that slump because he's no longer at the top of the order. There's no pressure on him. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. Yankees held on and beat the Phillies, so they'll actually win that series. High-scoring series. Two teams that are always lauding about their pitching. The 1-1, swung on, sliced foul. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Twins lead the Mets 7-2. It is in the 8th, and they meaning the Twins, have runners on the corners and nobody out. We'll keep you updated on that. The 1-2. Swing! That ball sliced into right field. Coming over, making the catch. For out number 2 is Frelick, 2 away. So it really made Peralta work in the last inning. This inning, they've gifted him a couple of quick outs. That'll bring Jorge Soler to the plate. Soler 0-for. First game as a Brave since 2021. First pitch, swung on. That ball is belted into left center field. Coming over, making a running catch is Churio, and that was a very quick inning, and that's what the Brewers wanted. We played right into their hands on that one. We'll be back in a flash, tied at 2, bottom of the 5th.
There are some girls that can manage time and some girls that can manage money. I'm neither of those girls because I'm going to be late and broke.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
Where's the scissors? I gotta give this thing some flav. What are you doing?
Crew necks are for squares and Mormons.
Oh, cute. Should we do mine? I don't know. If you have no car, why open the garage?
Here are some baseball facts you might not have known. Hall of Famer Jim Palmer is arguably the best Orioles pitcher ever. He had the most wins in the 70s and was remarkably good at limiting homers. Over his 19-year career in the league, Palmer never gave up a grand slam or allowed back-to-back home runs. The legendary Derek Jeter holds a pretty impressive record. He's played the most games at one defensive position without ever playing another, with 2,674 games at shortstop.
There's something in its intimacy, there's something in that incredible greenness, there's something in the peculiarity of the way that the outfield wall follows its meandering path from right to left. There's something about the way that it fits so tightly and neatly into the city, not surrounded by endless acres of ballparks. And there's something about the fact that it has been the site of so much baseball sorrow, has gone down there, that you can compare it to a Civil War battlefield. It is a vale of tears.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Top of the order for the Brew Crew. Bottom of the 5th we go. 2-2 your score. First pitch on the way is a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Sinker inside. Just grabbed the inner part of the zone. It's 0-1. Churio didn't like that, but that's one of his best borderline calls of the entire day. The 0-1. Swung on, chopped back to the mound. Backhanded by Sale. He'll flip it over to Olsen. Steps on the pillow. 1 away. Sale 73 pitches into the afternoon. So he's still on pace to possibly get us through 6 innings. 7th might be asking a little too much. We'd have to get a gift from the Brewers like we just gave to them, a 5-pitch inning that they had in the top of the 5th. First pitch on the way, 94-mile-an-hour sinker, misses down to Rhys Hoskins. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Inside, ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 count. Sale comes set. Lets her fly. Swung on, chopped foul. We'll do it again. It's 2-1. Standing on deck is the catcher, Sanchez. Adames is in the hole. Braves 2, Brewers 2, bottom 5. Tomorrow we go home to face the Miami Marlins for a 4-game set as the 2-1 pitch is dragged foul down the third base side, 2-2. And normally that has been some pretty tough sledding over the years. The Braves have gotten the best of the Marlins, but they're usually hard-fought games. I don't know what to expect in this series because the Marlins sold off their team. If you ask me who won the trade deadline yesterday, it was the Miami Marlins. The 2-2. Swung on, pops it up. Got underneath that. Coming in, chasing. Kelnick, center field. Makes the catch, shovels it to Merrifield. 2 away. 2 down. And Sanchez will come to the plate. Gary Sanchez 1 for 2 with an RBI. First pitch on the way, 95 right down the pipe. It's 0-1. Gary Sanchez, 31 years old, really feels like he's much older. He came up as a young pup back in 2015 with the New York Yankees, and they had as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and chased off the plate for a swinging strike at the slider. It's 0-2. He was a catcher for the Yankees. Only had a couple of at-bats in 2015, but 2016, 20 home runs and a .299 average. 2017, he had 33 home runs and a .278 average, along with 90 RBI. The 0-2 swung on, pops it high in the sky. Camping underneath it is Jorge Soler in right field, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down, the heart of the Atlanta Braves order coming to the plate as we go to 6.
Question for ladies. Who do you talk to when you're not okay?
Myself. That's probably why I'm not okay.
Mike Mussina is a Hall of Famer. On top of being an elite player, he was also very intelligent. He graduated from Stanford with a degree in economics and was almost the valedictorian of his high school. According to some reports, Mussina lowered his grades a little in order to avoid giving a commencement speech.
Look, you gotta get it through your head. It's not coming back to you.
Why?
Because you slept with someone else!
Yeah, like a month ago! God!
Hey, Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
It's not about how many times you can fall down. It's about how many times you get up.
That's not how a field sobriety test works, sir.
There is no greater optimist. Years he's been in baseball, and all that time he has had confidence in the Brooklyn fan. Through many seasons of losses and disappointments, he has carried the Trolley Dodgers, losing money year after year. Those about him lost faith in the game as a paying proposition. But the confidence of Mr. Ebbets has never been shaken. He believed years ago, as he does today, that Brooklyn is a major league city and that it would support a good team. New York Times.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Peralta goes back to work. First pitch, slider off the plate to Austin Riley. It's a 1-0. Austin Riley, 0 for 2, popped out to third in the first and flied out to right in the third. The 1-0, outside wide, 2-0. Really felt like Riley just missed one in the third. He gave that one a ride. Ozuna on deck, Olsen in the hole, the 1-1. Inside, 93 miles an hour, 2-1. Two-one count. Braves 2, Brewers 2. Peralta comes set. Swing, slices it back foul, 2-2. So now you got to be aware of that slider that he likes to lean on when he gets ahead. Two strikes on Riley, 2 balls, the 2-2, swung on, grounded hard over to short, comes off the glove of Adonis, but Austin Riley is going to beat that out. Whether it's an infield single or another error on Adonis, any way you slice it, your Atlanta Braves got one on, nobody out. I would think they're going to give that an error. They do. That was a really bad error. Got to see the close-up to that the second time. First pitch on the way to Ozuna's high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. The ball came to him. If he just lets the glove catch the ball, it's going to be an easy play. But he tried to scoop it for some odd reason, and it smacked out of his glove. The 1-0. Inside. 2-0. Slider misses. Ozuna's had some really bad strikes called on him in this game. 2-2 your score. Go ahead runs at first. Twins lead the Mets 8-2 in the bottom of the eighth. The 2-0. Inside ball 3-0. They checked down the line, but there's no way he went around. James John, the first base umpire, confirmed. Milwaukee bullpen getting loose. Looks like the left-hander. The 3-0 swung on, chopped foul. Thankfully, that went foul. That would have been another double play. 3-0 count. A little surprised that Ozuna's swinging at that pitch the way he did, because he came out of his shoes and was really pulling to the third base dugout side. We'll go at it again. The 3-1. Swung on. Chased another one down and inside. Bangs it off the plate. 3-2. So a full count now to Ozuna. Probably swung at ball 4. It was close. The payoff pitch. Riley at first. Peralta comes set. Brings it. Swung on, and he did swing at ball 4 there. That is going to be a double play, because Peralta grabs it, flips it to second, and it goes to first, and it's going to be a 1-4-3 rally-killing double play. The only question there would be is if the second baseman held the bag. It was a bad throw by Peralta. We almost got bailed out, but I think he kept his foot on the bag. I'd have to see a slower look. Yeah, it looks like his foot's on the bag. So 2 down. Matt Olson comes to the plate. First pitch, swung on, foul back. It's 0-1. Two consecutive pitches at Ozuna. If he would have just spit on either one of those pitches, we would have had first and second, nobody out. The 0-1. Inside, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1. The 1-1, way outside wide, 2-1. Braves 2, Brewers 2, top 6. The 2-1 to Olson. Swing, pops it up. Olson hit a home run his last time up. Peralta now at 93 pitches. So they have made him work this inning. The 2-2, outside wide ball 3-2. Peralta, his 95th of the afternoon, the payoff pitch. Up high, ball 4. That's how it's done, Matty. He'll head on down to first. Travis d'Arnaud will come to the plate. The retirement plan went yard last time up. First pitch on the way is swung on and sliced foul. It's 0-1. Travis d'Arnaud currently in a 9-game hitting streak. The 0-1, righty-righty. Swing, slices it foul. 0-2. Travis down to his last strike. Peralta also will about to throw his 98th pitch, so I would assume this is it for him. With Eddie on deck and a left-hander warming up at the pen, I would think that's the route they're going to go, which will probably bring Duvall into the game. The 0-2. Swung on. Sliced back again. We'll do it again. Darno went yard on a hanging slider. Probably won't get that this time. Sure that's fresh in the memory of Peralta. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. Olsen at first. There are 2 outs, so he'll be running at contact. Anything that gets down in the gap, he would have a chance to go first to home. The 1-2. Swung on, chopped foul. We'll do it again. Braves 2, Brewers 2. The 1-2. In the dirt, swing and a miss, strike 3. So that'll end the inning. Braves put one on but can't score. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
This guy asked me on a date, and then he never got back to me. It's been a day.
He moved on, probably with someone better, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, sorry, that sounds pretty good. You're probably just out with the old and with the new.
Are you serious?
Probably prettier than you two.
Oh my god, what?
You look like a giant turd right now.
Michael Conforto's mother is an Olympic gold medalist. Tracy Ruiz Conforto was a synchronized swimmer in the 80s and won 2 gold medals in the Olympics along with a silver medal. Tracy was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame in 1993, the same year that Michael Conforto was born.
If you were a bird, where would you fly? I'd fly to my favorite place, the DMV. We haven't heard a peep out of you.
If I was a bird, I'd fly into a ceiling fan.
Over the years, Brooklyn would be represented by many teams with many names. The Atlantics and Excelsiors, the Bridegrooms, Bushwicks and Superbas, the Tip Tops, after the baker of Tip Top bread who owned them for a time, the Robins, after their manager Wilbert Robinson, the Trolley Dodgers, and finally, just the Dodger.
The story of the Brooklyn Dodgers is a story of one of the 5 boroughs in New York. Brooklyn was an independent city to itself until 1898. It was one of the great cities. It was a city with a population bigger than Chicago. But because of the subway, because of the bridges, because of the water and electric facilities, the state forced Brooklyn into the city of New York in 1898. And Brooklyn didn't want to be in the city of New York. New York had the tall buildings and this, that, and the other, and the railroad stations and Broadway. Brooklyn was just, they call it the bedroom of New York. But the one thing that they had in Brooklyn was a baseball club called the Dodgers. And the whole borough of Brooklyn centered its love and attention on the Dodgers and used the Dodgers against the tall buildings of Manhattan.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves. They're tied up 2-2, bottom of the 6th. They trailed 2-0 before back-to-back home runs. The first pitch on the way from Sale is swung on, roasted over to third. Backhanded grab by Riley. Nice defensive play by the rake. One away. That was a hot shot that he caught in the air. He misses that one, probably standing in scoring position. What I was trying to say, the Braves trailed 2-0 before back-to-back home runs by Olsen and Darno, and we stand at 2-2 here in the 6th. First pitch on the way from Sale to Ortiz is a sinker. Right down the pipe, it's 0-1. If Sale could get out of this early, you may see another situation where they just send him back out there for a batter or whatnot in the 7th. Depends on how it lands in the lineup. The 0-1. Off the plate wide, 1-1. 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses wide. 2-1. The way it sets up right now, if he could go 1-2-3 in this inning, Sal Frelick, who's a left-hander, would lead off the 7th. The 2-1, right there at the knees, 2-2. So you could see a situation like they did the last time Sale pitched, where he goes out there to the 7th for one out or one batter, and then they go get him. So a 2-2, swung on, slice back, foul. We'll do it again. Grandma says, Mac don't know what to... Yeah, the chat has been on fire today. I can't be repeating any of that stuff on air. The 2-2. You got everything from pitch on the way. 96 inside, just misses. Ball 3, 3-2. So a full count to Ortiz, bottom of the 6th inning. I've looked up and I've seen everything from chicken stranglers to feet pick. I can't keep up. The 3-2 swung on, fouled away. We'll do it again. And then I don't know what that was about earlier, but y'all were going back and forth on how much money it would take for y'all to do stuff for a Klondike bar, I guess is the cleanest way I can say it. Lefty-righty matchup. The payoff pitch from Sale. Kicks and fires. Swung on, pops it up. It'll bend out of play once again. 3-2 once again. Pierce Johnson's warming up in the bullpen. I'm sure Yelton's loving that right now. He'll be in here screaming here in a second. One down. The payoff pitch. Swung on. That ball slice popped out of foul. So if nothing else, Ortiz is really making Sale sweat here, and that could mean the end of him. He may not be able to go back out there for that first batter. The 3-2 from Sale once again. Caught looking strike 3. He got caught watching the paint dry. 2 away. That ball just smacked the inner part of the zone. That slider buckled the knees. Ortiz didn't know what to do with that one. The 2 down. First pitch to Perkins. Slaps the edge of the zone. Just kisses the paint. It's 0-1. Keith, are you currently deployed? Regardless, thank you for your service, but I was just curious if you're currently over where you said you were. 0-1, outside wide, 1-1. So 1-1. Hey, there's Daniel. I haven't seen Daniel in a while. The 1-1 swing. That ball's belted deep into left field. Is it going to stay in play? It will. It'll bounce up against the wall. Rosario, with another just lackadaisical defensive effort, turns into a double. I'm telling you right now, any of our other outfielders make that catch. And we watched this last year. We knew he was at the end of a contract, and so we knew you just had to live it out. And then they bring him back, and it's the same thing over and over. Nobody motivates this guy. He just Cadillacs over there. I cringed when I saw them re-sign him, and this is what you get from Rosario. So Frelick comes up, first pitch on the way, down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. This will be Sale's last batter, I would think. Sal Frelick did single to left field his last time up. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-0. Way outside wide. Slider misses. Ball 2-0. The Sale in a really tight spot here. The 2-0. Sale comes set. 2 outs. Runner on second. The pitch. Nowhere near the zone. Ball 3. The 3-0 count. Sale at the end of his rope. This will be his 99th pitch of the at bat of the afternoon, excuse me. The 3-0. 97 just caught the edge. I'm not even sure about that one. I'd probably have to put that up there with his 11th blown call of the day. The 3-1 to Frelick. Right-hander standing on deck. Pitch from Sale. In the dirt. Ball 4. So Frelick will head on down to first, and I would think, because Johnson is definitely warmed up, he is. So that is going to be it for Chris Sale. He's had 100 pitches. He's given up 2 runs. He will be charged with the 2 runners if they were to cross the plate. And that'll end it. Sale was trying to talk his way out of it, but enough is enough. We'll be back in a flash. Braves, Brewers, tied up at 2.
Hey, does anybody else get road rage walking behind people? Or is it just me?
This is the career of Dave Winfield. He didn't reach his full height of 6 feet 6 inches until his senior year of high school. Most people know him as an outfielder, but in 1973 he was named All-American and voted MVP of the College World Series as a pitcher. Not only was he drafted 4th overall by the Padres, he was also drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, the Utah Stars, and the Minnesota Vikings. After being drafted, he was immediately placed in the San Diego Padres starting lineup. He never played a game in the minor league. In 1977, he appeared in his first All-Star game at Yankee Stadium. From 1982 to 1988, he drove in 744 runs and made the All-Star team every season. After signing with the Blue Jays, he became the 3rd oldest player to hit an extra base hit in the World Series at the age of 41. Next, he spent time with the Minnesota Twins, where he collected his 3,000th hit. He had a cannon for an arm, and no one dared run on him. This is evident by his 7 Gold Glove awards, 2 as a left fielder and 5 as a right fielder. In 2001, he was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. He holds the distinction of being the first player to go in as a Padre. And don't forget, he wasn't afraid to charge the mound against Nolan Ryan.
I swear, if I could go back in time and tell the woman that stood up for our right to work, I would.
Born and raised in a Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn, he hadn't planned on being a ball player. In fact, he didn't really like the game that much. He liked basketball instead and wanted to be an architect. But the speed with which he threw a baseball attracted the attention of scouts for the Brooklyn Dodgers. They signed him at the age of 19 and sent him directly to the majors. His career did not get off to a promising start. For 6 frustrating years, he threw the ball with demon speed but little control, losing more games than he won. Then, in 1961, Norm Sherry, a veteran catcher, quietly told him he didn't need to throw so hard to get men out.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Pierce Johnson comes to the plate, or comes to the bump. First pitch on the way. As Contreras, the pinch hitter, comes to the plate. First pitch up top, misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. First and second, 2 outs. PJ kicks and brings it. Curveball misses, 2-0. That show that you're talking about, and I've tried to listen to it, and that one guy talks like he has brain freeze from like eating too much ice cream. I can't unhear it. Every time I hear him talk, it's just like, man, get to the point. The 2-0, outside wide, 3-0. So a 3-0 count. The other guy's not too bad, but he's got to get a better co-host. He's got some of the worst takes. I follow one of the. I follow both of them, but he's got some of the worst takes on Twitter. The 3-0 swing, fouls it back, 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Standing on deck is Monasterio. Now, they may pinch hit him as well. They do a lot of mixing and matching with the Brewers. The 3-1 in the dirt, ball 4. So Pierce Johnson comes out of the bullpen, and he's loaded the bases. We're in quite a pickle here as the game is tied. Bottom of the 6th. Pierce Johnson, he will face Monasterio. Monasterio, who is 0 for 2. Fouled out and lined out. First pitch, swung on, sliced foul and out of play. It's 0-1. Smacked up against the screen down the right field line. The 0-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Andrew Monasterio batting .571 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. Wow. Considering his numbers, the 0-1. Swing and a miss up top, 0-2. He's 8 for 14 with 2 doubles, 8 RBIs with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. This guy's batting .188 for the year. He must have ice water in his veins. The 0-2. Pierce comes set, kicks and fires, way outside wide. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Little surprised they didn't go with the curveball there. If they're worried about the ball getting away, that one almost got away from Travis. He had to do almost like a hockey slide. The 1-2. Did he go around? He did. Strike 3. Got him with the curveball, and that'll end the inning. Man, was that a close one. We'll try to regroup. Top of the 7th we go. It's 2-2. Braves and the Brew Crew.
So explain to me why I found naked pictures of other women on the computer.
Because you're nosy.
At Fenway Park, there is a lone red seat in the right field bleachers. The seat signifies the longest home run ever hit in the ballpark. The home run was hit by Ted Williams in 1946 and was officially measured at 502 feet.
No, I'm good. Stop talking. You're rambling. I'm sorry. Okay, just get to the point.
No, I'm gonna. I'm just saying I wasn't selling that kid drugs, dude. That's messed up.
Then what were you doing?
Dude, I wasn't even selling them drugs. I was buying it from him. That's support an entrepreneur. That's not bad. All right, I would not sell drugs to a kid, but I'll buy a kid's drug. That's taking drugs from the kids. I'm taking drugs out of the kids' hands and giving them supporting an entrepreneur, dude.
You're talking about like it's a lemonade stand.
No, that's what I said. I was like, dude, you should be slick selling lemonade too. You get the drum out, then you come back for lemonade, you're doubling up.
I've made more money than I ever expected to, but I'm putting all of it, and more too, into the new plant for the Brooklyn fans. Of course, it's one thing to have a fine ball club and win a pennant, but to my mind, there's something more important than that about a ball club. I believe the fans should be taken care of. A club should provide a suitable home for its patrons. This home should be in a location that's healthy, it should be safe, and it should be convenient. Charles Hercules Ebbets.
My father used to talk about the building of Ebbets Field. He was 11 years old when they started building Ebbets Field, and he somehow remembered what the hopes were for that whole area of Brooklyn, because he lived right near there, that they would have their own stadium nearby. And he said he used to go by every day and watch another piece of it being put together. So when he first took me there, it was like showing me something that was part of his own history, not just a stadium somewhere else.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. You're listening on radio. The Mets have lost. The Phillies have lost. So the Braves would be able to move up in the standings on both teams if we're able to pull this one out. We head to the 7th inning. Jared Koenig comes to the plate, comes to the mound. The left-hander throws the first pitch on the way, and it's right down the pipe to Adam Duvall, who did come in to bat for Eddie, as it's mentioned earlier. Lefty-righty matchup, the 0-1, down and in, 1-1. take a look at Koenig real quick. He comes in with a 2.2 ERA, the left-hander, originally drafted by the White Sox in 2014. This is only his second year in the major leagues. The 1-1. 95 right there at the knees. 1-2. This year, 41 innings, so pretty good sample size. Pretty good numbers so far. The 1-2 to Duvall. Koenig comes set. Inside 97, 2-2. He's gone sinker, cutter, and then sinker, sinker. These first few pitches of the seventh inning. Standing on deck is the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball gets away, but they'll easily throw down to first and get Duvall out. Coming to the plate was standing on deck is Orlando Arcia. Arcia has been red hot over the last couple of weeks. 11-game hitting streak. On this date in 1912, Ty Cobb goes 1-for-4 in Detroit's 4-1 victory over Washington. First pitch on the way to Arcia, swung on and popped up into right field. Will it stay? It'll just bounce off the railing up top, I believe. Nonetheless, it hit the ground. It's 0-1. See a better look at it. He leaped for it. It looked like it might have hit the railing, but who knows? Nonetheless, he didn't make the catch. On that date in 1912, when Ty Cobb goes 1-for-4, the Tiger outfielder singled in his 68th hit in 137 at-bats that month. The 0-1 swung on, hit on the ground. That ball's going to go off the glove of Ortiz, and we've been gifted another, should be an error, I would think, E5, which is unusual because the Brewers are usually pretty good defensively. 1 on, 1 out. Took kind of a funny hop. The thing was, Ortiz should have been charging that ball. Maybe because of the slow speed of Arcia, he thought he had time, but he kind of let the ball play him instead of vice versa. First pitch on the way to Kelenic, lefty-lefty matchups, upside, up and in. It's 1-0. The 1-0. But the point of that Ty Cobb number is the 1-0. Swung on, dribbled just past the mound. Arcia is going to be out after pretty nifty play by Monasterio. He had to wait for the ball to get to him, then wait for Arcia to hop over the ball. They were going to collide. Shoveled it to second, but no chance to get Kelenic. So though you would have loved to have had him, Arcia being in scoring position, Kelenic standing at first is definitely a good trade-off, especially with 2 outs. He'll be running on contact. That'll bring Whit Merrifield to the plate. Merrifield swings at the first pitch, pops it up back behind home plate. It's 0-1. Ty Cobb in that month of July back in 1912 hit .535 during that month, and the most ever collected 68 hits in a month by a major leaguer. That was in 1912. The 0-1 swung on. That ball's laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And merry-go-round slaps it into left field. Kelenic goes to second. We've got speed on the base pass. 2 away, and Jorge Soler coming to the plate. See if we can get some Soler power here. Braves 2, Brewers 2. You don't want to keep missing out on these scoring opportunities. Eventually you figured the Brewers will crack through. They're going to go out there and talk to Koenig. It'll be interesting to see if he is allowed to face Soler. You can't really pitch around him because then you would just be loading the bases for the right-handed Riley. Well, they do that. On this date, 1930, the Yankees edged the Red Sox 14-13 thanks to Lou Gehrig's. Listen to this. His offensive putout that day, the Iron Horse, 8 RBIs with a grand slam, 2 doubles in Fenway Park, winning 14-13. And no, that game was not televised or on radio. That would have been a heck of a game. Can you imagine that 14-13 against your arch rivals? And you come through with 8 RBI, a grand slam. They're going to leave Kennick out there on the bump. And he'll face Jorge Soler. We've got one more from this date, and it's a pretty good one. John Smoltz. We'll save that one. First and second, 2 outs. The lefty brings it, and the 94-mile-an-hour sinker is at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Soler is 0 for 3. Might still be a little jet lag coming in late last night from San Francisco. The 0-1. Outside down. Did not get the call, 1-1. That was a 50-50 pitch. If this was Brewer country, we'd probably be adding to that list of blown calls, but the 1-1 kicks and fires. Inside, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. I can't imagine if he ends up walking Soler that they would let him face Riley, but you never know. Braves 2, Brewers 2, top 7. 2 outs. But the game right now is at the plate. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Chase 95 well off the edge. That was about half a foot out of the zone, 2-2. The 2-2. Can it come set? Looks back the runner at second. Brings it. In the dirt. Ball 3-2. So now the merry-go-round will begin, literally, with Merrifield at first. 2 outs. 2 on. Runners will be going at the pitch. The payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. And it's not a hit, but we did record this for him, so let's play it.
Who here can honestly say that they played any finer or felt any better than they did when they were with Braves country? We're on a mission from God.
Any of you Blues Brothers fans playing off the fact that we're putting the band back together, they're going to go out there and talk to him. That'll be it because you can't have more than 2 visits to the mound. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the bases are juiced here in Braves country, and they're going to the pen. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Remember, Brewers had this same situation last half inning. Austin Riley's coming to the plate. Coming in is Peguero. We saw Elvis Peguero earlier in this series. He came in on Monday and pitched 1 inning, no earned runs. Did not record a strikeout, but he did have a clean inning. No hits allowed. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Austin Riley comes to the plate. First pitch, outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. You'd love to see Peguero come out of the pen and walk Riley. We'll take a gift one anytime we can. The 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. If you're Austin Riley right now, you got to be thinking, unless it's just dead red, I'm not swinging. I want to see this guy throw a strike. The 2-0, righty-righty matchup. Teal glove lifts it, pitch, swing. That ball's hammered down the left field line, but foul. That's kind of in his wheelhouse, but it was off the plate. You would have liked to have seen him taking that one. Instead of 3-0, it's now 2-1. Kelnick at third. Merrifield at second. The 2-1 in the dirt. Ball 3-1. So once again, he has not thrown a strike yet. Riley bailed him out with swinging one. I'd say it was 2 to 3 inches well inside off the plate, but it wasn't. That's kind of Riley's wheelhouse. He loves to get him in or cut and just slam him into left field. The 3-1 from Peguero delivers. Swing. That ball's hammered over into left field. That's going to dribble through. That's going to get down. Here comes Merrifield second all the way home in your Atlanta Braves. 4, Milwaukee 2. The rake comes through here in the top of the 7th. Hard hit ball. That one was on the inner cut as well. This one was in the zone, and Riley, that ball came off the bat 99 miles an hour. Pretty good throw by Churio. Jackson Churio by trade is a center fielder, but he's been pushed into left because they want to help his offense. And they've got a lot of guys that can play left. As center in Milwaukee. First pitch to Ozuna is their first strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to the Big Zoo. Comes set. Swing. Slices it away. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves 4, Brewers 2. Top of the 7th. The 0-2. Swung on, just got a piece of that one. Chased one out of the zone. 1-2. If Ozuna can keep it going, the ice house is on deck. Darnold in the hole. The 0-2. Brings it. Swung on and missed, strike 3. But not before your Atlanta Braves put 2 on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Get up and stretch, Braves country.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. We out to the ball game. We out to the find me something up. I don't care
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Pierce Johnson back to work. First pitch on the way is a curveball in the inner cut. It's 0-1. Whatever that backdrop is that they have going on the Braves broadcast, I'm just noticing this. It's only on the Braves. It's not on the Brewers. It's 0-1. Down and away 1-1. I don't know if y'all are getting the same thing. There's like a glow around the umpire in the batter. It's really distracting. It's been there all game long. The 1-1. I think it's because I'm just figuring this out. The 1-1 up top for a strike. 1-2. I think it's because if you look at the Brewers broadcast, they have an orange background, and the Braves are putting that the video is the 1-2 misses 2-2 on top of it, so it's causing a glow. So I'm switching over to the Brewers cast. I can't deal with it anymore. I thought it was on both, so I looked at the other monitor. The 2-2 swing, chops it back to the mound. Pierce Johnson has it, flips it over to first, 1 away. I don't know if y'all are noticing the same thing. At first I thought it was just on the laptop, because I do a laptop and then I have a backup of the television app side by side in case one goes out, I go to the other. And then way in the background I have the road teams, because sometimes they have a much better look at the play. But I just realized, man, this is the stupid Braves they're doing. This is not the Brewers. First pitch on the way is a cutter right there at the inner cut to Hoskins. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty. Kicks and fires. Swung on. Grounded over to third. Off of Riley's glove. Fired by Arcia. Wow, what a play by Orlando Arcia. And that's why I call him the Magic Kingdom. Wowza. He took a ricochet off of a diving Riley's glove, shot it over to Arcia, and he scoops it and flips it in one motion and gets the runner out by a mile. So Riley did play a part into that. If you're scoring at home, it's a 5-6-3 put out, and you don't see those many. Man, oh man alive. I thought for sure that was going to handcuff Arcia. You can't even practice that. First pitch on the way to Sanchez is a curveball at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-1. You couldn't even say, hey, we're going to practice this, because you could never get the guy with the fungo back to hit the ball where you want to hit it for that to even take place. The 0-1. Right there at the knee, snaps a curveball. It's 0-2. I saw Grandma King say something like, I can't call the game because y'all... Man, once I saw the foolishness, I closed the chat up quick, man. I was like, I can't keep up with that. I'll look every once in a while, but I can't keep up with all that. Y'all talking about OnlyFans accounts and all that stuff. I was like, man, I'm out of here. So an 0-2 from Johnson. PJ comes set, lets her go. Curveball in the dirt, 1-2. Braves 4, Brewers 2. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. Swung on. That ball's lifted into left field. That's going to get down. Duvall cuts it off. He fires it into the infield. See if... Sanchez is going to stay where he's at. I figured he would. If he didn't get that one ball earlier to double bases, he's a station-to-station guy. It would not shock me if they pinch run for him. He's about as slow, if not... you know what? He might be a tad slower than Sean Murphy and Darnode. See if they keep him in the game. Yeah, they're going to keep him in. That surprised me. First pitch on the way. Down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Well, I guess they did handicap themselves because they put Contreras in as their DH. So the only way they could do that is Contreras would have to go to the field, which means they would lose the DH. The 1-0, well inside, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. The only other guys they have on their bench right now is a first baseman, an outfielder, and an infielder. The 2-0. Swung on, sliced back foul. 2-1. That curveball that Sanchez hit, it was a hanger. Thankfully, he didn't get a lot on it, but that ball got way too much of the zone. It was way too high to be a curveball. He's got to keep those down. The 2-1 to Adames. He represents the tying run, dangerous bat. Pitch on the way. Swung on, chopped foul. Third base side, smacks up against the tarps over there. Brewers have a retractable roof, but yet they still have tarps, so you know what that means. There's been some times where the crew has not gotten the alert that the rain's coming in time, and the only way that happens is if somebody spit the bit, and somebody spit the bit. The 2-2, 97 outside wide, ball 3-2. So a 3-2 count. Ortiz stands on deck. They do have Dylan Lee working up in the pen. Braves clinging to a 4-2 lead. The pitch. Swing, slices it back foul. Do it again. Braves 4, Brewers 2. 2 outs, runner at first. Tying run standing at the plate. Pierce Johnson, 27th pitch of the outing. He brings it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dodge that one. We'll head to the 8th. Let's get him some insurance runs quick, Braves country. We'll be back in a flash.
I just want to let you know that I don't like you spending too much time with people who have nice, normal wives. Okay? I don't need you getting any ideas. Do you understand?
And Pascual Perez just threw a baseball into the Cubs dugout, and another one came flying right back out. And there's another one, and it's hit one of the umpires out on the mound. Now Don Zimmer's coming up, and he'll argue that Perez started it. He threw a ball into the dugout, and he did. Harry Wendelstedt and Zimmer. You see Zimmer's hot. Pascual was being tended to on the mound. It appeared that his right hand, his pitching hand, may have been hit by that line drive. So now Ron McLean is out talking to him. The huddle is around him. Somebody must have said something from the Cub dugout, and Pascual just lobbed a baseball into the dugout, and in short order it came flying right back out. And when the ball came out, it hit home plate umpire Bill Hahn. One of the Cubs is going to be fined for throwing the ball. Going to be fined because that guy's pitcher threw the ball in our dugout. A little bit of a smile on Pascual's face, as if he's gotten away with something here.
Armchair. Gas prices are so high that I just saw Dolly Parton carpooling with Jolene.
Ebbets spent $750,000 to build his park, with its marble rotunda and chandeliers made in the form of bats and balls. So much that he had to sell half his interest in the team to pay his debts. Ebbets Field opened to the public on April 5th, 1913, with an exhibition game against the Highlanders, who officially changed their name that spring to the New York Yankees. Brooklyn won 3-2. An inside-the-park home run by a young former dental student named Casey Stengel made the difference. Over the next 45 summers, Ebbets Field would witness some of the worst baseball ever played, and some of the very best.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Nick Mears comes in. The 1.69 ERA. Did y'all see the newest thing that the Olympic Committee is doing I can't believe they're even allowing this. There are 2 athletes that have been born male that are going to box in the women's division in the Olympics. The first pitch on the way to Matt Olson is swung on. That ball is crushed like an ant. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. 416 happy feet, 103 off the bat. His 17th of the year, 50th RBI, and your Atlanta Braves taking a 3-run lead. You know what's funny, about a year ago at this time, that's probably exactly half of what his numbers were. He was probably sitting around 34 home runs and 100 RBI. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud. It's a 4-seam fastball. Fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Adding Jorge Soler, it's not even what he does at the plate. You're just adding depth to that lineup, and eventually the dam is going to break. The 0-1. Swung on. That ball's pelted into left field. I don't think that's going to hold. The second time today, back-to-back jacks by the Ice House and the TDA retirement plan. Holy cow. A hanger. 11th home run of the year, 35th RBI. 412 happy feet. 101 off the bat, and your Atlanta Braves. 2 times today. This is not a recording. Back-to-back home runs by Olsen and d'Arnaud. That has represented 4 of the 6 runs for your Atlanta Braves today. First pitch to Duvall is there for a strike. It's 0-1. The only other 2 runs we scored was the 2 RBI single by Riley, the 0-1. That ball's hammered over into left field, coming over, making the catch in the sunshine. Very few blades of grass left in this park with sunshine on it. But a good catch by Jackson Cheerio. It's 1 away. It shouldn't be understated how difficult of a catch that is when you're out there in the outfield, even with the sunglasses on, and all you can see is home plate in the shade, and that ball is a laser to you. First pitch on the way to Arcia is at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. 1-1. They checked down the line, but he did not go. So as of right now, from our definition of what a click is, if you had Olsen, if you had d'Arnaud with their 2 home runs, obviously they clicked. The 1-1. Swung on. That ball's lifted into center field, going back on the track, making the catch. Long run for Jenkins, 2 away. Riley clicked with a hit and 2 RBIs. And I believe that's it so far. Our definition, you have to either get 2 bases or a combination of 2 bases / RBIs. First pitch on the way to Kelnick is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. So you wonder if that means d'Arnaud will be back in the lineup again tomorrow, because Snicker says if you're hitting, you're going to be in the lineup, and I don't blame him. The 0-1. Swung on. That ball's lifted high into right field. It's not going to go very far. Coming in, making the running catch is Sal Frelick, and that'll end the inning. But not for the Braves. Put 2 more on the board. We lead it 6-2. Bottom of the 8th we go.
Evening, sir. Where are you heading this late at night?
I was on my way to a lecture about alcohol and its effects on the human body and smoking and staying out late at night.
Who gives a lecture about that this late at night?
My wife.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
So, Dad, I think she's the one. I'm gonna marry her.
Tell me you're sorry.
Wait, what? What?
Tell me you're sorry.
What? No, I didn't do anything. I'm not saying sorry.
Hey, until you can say you're sorry for no reason at all, you're not ready.
Why is baseball, you ask? Because it is like charity. It never faileth. It is always there, except on wet grounds. And to the man who is too old to keep up with the attempt to civilize football, and too young to need so soothing a sedative as golf, who works hard when he works, who wants to rest hard when he rests, who wants a drama that is as full of surprises for the actors as it is for the audience, who wants a race that cannot be fixed like a horse race, who is so genuine and American that he wants something to kick about without meaning it, and something to yell about that everyone around him will think more of him for yelling about. To that man, baseball is the one great lifesaver in the good old summertime.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th here. First pitch on the way from Joe Jimenez. JJ fires a pitch on the outer cut for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty. Swing. Slices it foul. 1-1. So 1-1. 0-2 count. Bottom of the 8th. Ortiz, Perkins, and Frelick. The 0-2. Swung on. Just got a piece of that. Stuck the head of the bat out there and just knocked it back foul. Ramon Laureano is now in right field. That better not be because of an injury. Let me tell you that. The 0-2. Outside wide 1-2. He's coming in for Jorge Soler. Braves lead it. Six to 2. The 1-2 swung on and dropped into left field. That's down for a base hit. And they got the leadoff runner here in the 8th. I don't hate that in the 8th inning, but I don't love it because there is a chance that Soler could be coming up to bat one more time. Actually, a very good chance now that I look at it. So you do wonder if there's something going on there. I'm going to check that real quick. First pitch on the way to the left-handed bat of Mitchell is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Jimenez comes set. Lets her go. Swing and a miss, 94 up top, 0-2. I don't see any update. So I think that's just a defensive replacement, not any kind of anything to be worried about. The 0-2, swing and a miss, 1-2. Maybe if we didn't have a 4-run lead, strikeout number 1 for Jimenez, 1 away. Maybe if we didn't have a 4-run lead, we would still have Soler in there. Still don't think that's a big enough lead to play with your food, but nonetheless, first pitch on the way to Frelick is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Your only other option that you would have is you could have slid Soler over to left and put Laureano in for Duvall. As the 0-1 swung on, popped back foul 0-2. But we may see a lot of this, to be honest, not just the regular season, but what if we get into the playoffs and we get a lead in the 7th, 8th inning? There's a good chance Soler's coming out for defensive replacement. The 0-2 swung on, rifled down the line foul. Right now, your bench looks like this. You have Murphy and you have Luke Williams. Laureano and Duvall were on the bench. So right now, you've got two, for today's lineup, two guys on the bench that are outfielders and one guy that's an infield outfield. And then, of course, the catcher, the 0-2, comebacker towards the mound out in front of the plate. It dies, so Darnold has to jump up, make the grab, fire it to first. 2 away on the play. The runner at first heads down to second. So he does go into scoring position. You would think Iglesias would be available again tonight. We'll see how they play that. William Contreras, who walked his first time up, after pinch hitting for Haas, is up. The designated hitter takes the first pitch, 95 miles an hour, high and inside. It's 1-0. 1-0. Lets her go. 95 kisses the black. 1-1. 1-1 count. Jimenez comes set. Swing and a miss. 94 mile an hour up top, 1-2. Yeah, Iglesias should be available for the ninth if they want to go that route. If we can tag a couple more runs on, you can save them. And with Charlie Morton on the mound tomorrow, you want to save as much bullpen as you can. The 1-2. Slider down and away. 2-2. Standing on deck is Monasterio, the number 9 hitter. Then you'd be back to the top of the order, so you'd like to end it here. The 2-2 to Contreras. 95 just misses outside. Full count. The payoff pitch. Lets her go. Swing. Fouls it back. Braves 6, Brewers 2, bottom 8. 2 outs, top of the second. Contreras is going to call time. Looking towards the top of the ninth, what the Braves will have. The bottom of the order, then rolling over. So that's why it's a little surprising to me that they took Soler out. But nonetheless, the payoff pitch. Swing. Pops it up once again. So Soler's first day, though he didn't get a hit, he went 0 for 3. He wasn't part of one of those rallies, the payoff pitch. Caught, looking, strike 3. Jimenez missed where he was aiming for, but good frame by Darnold. We'll be back in a flash. Top of the ninth we go.
Today we are discussing crazy stats from Jamie Moyer's career. Over his career, he had 33 complete games and 10 shutouts. He is the last pitcher to log a shutout in 4 different decades. His last shutout was with the Phillies on May 7, 2010. With that shutout, he became the oldest pitcher to record a complete game shutout, a record that still stands. One not-so-great record that he holds is most home runs allowed in Major League history. Over his 25-year career, he allowed 522 home runs. When he had retired in 2012, he had faced 8.9% of Major League Baseball hitters ever. By the time he retired, about 19,000 different hitters had played in the majors, and he had faced roughly 1,700 of them. He pitched in 50 different ballparks. He was selected to his first and only All-Star game in 2003 at the age of 40. He never threw much harder than 82 or 83 miles per hour, according to Fangraphs. His changeups were clocked in the mid-60s during his career. One player described his changeup as throwing feathers. You don't think the ball can stay in the air that long. When he made his debut, the major league minimum was $60,000. Alex Rodriguez made more than that every time he stepped up to the plate from 2001 to the end of his career.
Baseball suits the character of this democratic nation. Democracy is government by persuasion. That means it requires patience. That means it involves a lot of compromise. Democracy is the slow politics of the half-loaf. Baseball is the game of the long season, where small, incremental differences decide who wins and who loses particular games, series, seasons. In baseball, you know going to the ballpark that the chances are you may win, but you also may lose. There's no certainty, no given. You know when a season starts that the best team is going to get beaten a third of the time. The worst team's going to win a third of the time. The argument, over 162 games, that middle third. So it's a game that you can't like if winning's everything. And democracy's that way too.
Welcome back. Whit Merrifield will lead us off, the number 9 hitter, and then it'll roll over to the top of the order. First pitch on the way. The slider off the edge. For a strike, it's 0-1. Another blown call by Mark Rippinger. Happy football season eve to all you football fans. It begins tomorrow. The 0-1. Swing, fouls it away. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves lead at 6-2, top 9. The 0-2. Down and away, 1-2. Hit that out-of-town scoreboard real quick. Give you an idea of what's going on today. The Mets have lost, the Phillies have lost. The 1-2, high and out of the zone, 2-2. Royals beat the White Sox. Orioles over the Blue Jays. Marlins over the Rays. Two teams that sold at the deadline. Right now, the Cardinals all over the Rangers 10-1 in the 9th. Nats and Diamondbacks 1-1 in the 4th. The 2-2 curveball misses high, ball 3-2. Red Sox and Mariners just began. It's 1-0 in the 3rd. Cubs and Reds tonight. Pirates and Astros tonight. The payoff pitch, 96, just below the knees. Man, that's a close one. That's a 50-50 ball, and he is just... He can't decide if he's calling them low or pinching the batters all day long. It's on both sides. That's at least a dozen, if not close to 15 pitches. As I like to say, spotting dimes and eating onions, you Seinfeld fans would know what that means. Got one more turn back time. We saved it for here because this is a good one. It's John Smoltz. First pitch on the way. Slider swung and a miss by Laureano. It's 0-1. On this date in 2003, John Smoltz becomes the fastest pitcher to record 40 saves, breaking the record he set a week later during that season. As they throw it over to first, keep Merrifield close by. The Braves closer throws a scoreless 9th in the team's 7-4 victory over the Astros to establish the new mark. That was 21 years ago today. It's hard to believe it's been that long. The 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2. One that we missed from earlier in the week, last night. In 1999, Phillies' Paul Bird, right-hander, plunks Braves catcher Eddie Perez on the back. The 0-2, swung on. That's lifted towards center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Braves got runners on first and second, one out. The heart of the order coming to the plate. Paul Bird plunks Eddie Perez on the back. It precipitates a bench-clearing brawl between the two teams. That's one of the reasons why I never liked Paul Bird when he was in the booth. When he used to call games for the Braves, I remembered that, and I remembered him. And I know he played for the Braves eventually, but certain things you just don't forget. Eddie Perez is one of my favorite players. First pitch on the way to Riley is a swing and a miss strike at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. I don't like Bird, just like I will always be a Papelbon fan because he choked out Bryce Harper. The 0-1 righty-righty matchup. Mears still in there. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Curveball, missed it up top. Yeah, John, that turn back time for John Smoltz, his big save year is it's old enough to drink now. The 0-2. Call it looking strike 3. Got him with the gas on the outer edge. So 1 down. Marcell Ozuna. See if we can get him in and on this party. It's been a little quiet. He's 0 for 4. 3 strikeouts and a double play. First pitch to Zoo. Down and away. It's 1-0. I don't know why, but every time I remember the John Smoltz save year, because I think he finished with 58 or 59, whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it's 59. I always think it was in the middle of the decade, but 03, it always shocks me when I see that number. The 1-0 to Ozuna. Outside wide, 96 mile an hour fastball, 2-0. The 2-0 count. I mean, I guess it makes sense because our reign ended in 04, so I guess I just thought it was closer to the 04-05 mark as opposed to 03. The 2-0. Right there at the knees, 96, 2-1. On deck is Matt Olson. He has 2 home runs today. In the hole, Travis d'Arnaud, he has 2 home runs today. The 2-1. Down and away, 3-1. Three-1 count. One of the few days that you're going after Ozuna, so you don't have to face Olson and d'Arnaud. The 3-1 pitch. Swing. Pops it up. High down the right field line. Will it stay in play? It'll smack the screen. Foul. Fall to the turf. Full count. This score stands. The Braves, first of all, will have won the series and split the series on the road with the Mets. So pretty good, darn good road stand. Or if you look at the fact that both those teams are in the playoff hunt, you go out on the road, and the way we were scuffling offensively, I was just hoping not to go on a long losing streak. The payoff pitch. Runners go. And Merrifield's got the base stolen. They did bring up Ozuna. There's a wide strike 3. But Merrifield steals third. It was a bender, and Merrifield was able to time it just right. So runners on the corners. You don't really gain anything there, but runners on the corners, 2 outs. It looks like he's going to make a pitching change. All right, going to make a pitching change, needing 1 more out here in the 9th inning. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Braves lead it 6-2. Get out your flashlight, y'all. Hobie Milner comes in, the left-hander, 4.35 ERA. 4-1 on the year. 49 2/3 innings. In that time span, he's walked 12, struck out 49, so he's coming on to face Matt Olson. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch. Down and away. 1-0. He's a left-handed specialist, so if Olson can find a way to get on board, this would backfire with d'Arnaud standing on deck. The 1-0. Down and away. 2-0. The 2-0 count. Trailing by 4. I'm sure Murphy feels like this is his only way to make sure he can try and stay in this game. Pitch, down and away, ball 3-0. Ball gets away, but not very far. Braves 6, Brewers 2. Olson with 2 home runs, standing at the plate. d'Arnaud with 2 home runs, standing on deck. The 3-0. Right down the pipe, taken all the way, 3-1. Red Sox lead the Mariners 1-0. They're in the bottom of the third. The 3-1 pitch. Swing. Lifts it into left field. Coming over. Making the catch is Churio. That'll end the inning. Braves lead it by 4. We head to the 9th. The bottom of the order. And flipping to the top on the way.
I decided I'm not working on my anger issues. Y'all need to stop testing me.
I could really use all of the thoughts and prayers and good vibes you could muster, because I'm about to go into a Trader Joe's on a Sunday, so I'm gonna need the power of God behind me.
All right, just wash your hands before you use it. I don't get your germs.
Whoa, washing your hands is healthy? I did it because it felt good. I have so much to learn. On June 11th, 1938, Johnny Vandermeer threw a no-hitter against the Boston Bees. Just 4 days later, Vandermeer threw a second no-hitter, this time against the Dodgers. To this day, Vandermeer is still the only player in baseball history to throw 2 straight no-hitters.
I had a one-night stand last night, and he says to me, "Oh my God, that was amazing. You want to play a game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Have you ever heard of the airplane game?" And I'm like, "Sounds kinky, but no. How do you play that?" And he's like, "You take the off."
After Cleveland's great pitcher Addie Joss died, his fellow ball players staged a benefit game to aid his widow. All the great stars came. Walter Johnson, Smokey Joe Wood, Napoleon Lajoie, and Ty Cobb. The game was a great success. They managed to raise $12,931, but it only increased the players' anxieties. With no pensions of their own, or job security, or grievance procedure with the owners, they felt powerless. They now formed a players' fraternity. It had 2 goals: to rid baseball of the hated reserve clause, and to gain a larger share of the profits for the men who made those profits possible. At first, they got nowhere. The owners simply ignored them.
Well, it's eyeglasses time. Get your eyeglasses out. It's time for Raciel Iglesias. Try to slam this door shut. Comes on with a 1.82 ERA. It's not a safe situation. But he's been good even in those situations as well. A lot of closures you bring in as the first pitch on the way. Slider snaps at the knees for a strike. To Bryce Terang, it's 0-1. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. It'll be Terang, and then back to the top of the order with Churio and Hoskins. The 1-1 brings it. Down below the knees, 2-1. A lot of closers, if you bring them on in a non-safe situation, they tend to struggle. The 2-1, Swung on, lifted into left field, drifting back, making the catch is Adam Duvall. One away. The last several times he's come out without it being a safe situation, it doesn't seem to faze him. He's just in there which is the way you should be. You should be able to, but I can remember a lot of closers. You could not put them in unless it was 3 runs or less because they're just not locked in. Back to the top of the order, Jackson Churio comes up. First pitch, 96, snaps the black. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swung on and missed up top 0-2. The 0-2, 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Did he go around? James John says he did not. He has yet to ring anybody up for a check swing strike today. The 1-2. Fouls it off. The 1-2 from Iglesias. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Chase it off the edge. 2 away. Tomorrow night, not that I have any interest of even watching it, but it is going to be on. Just know that football season's getting here. Texans and Bears in the Hall of Fame practice game. First pitch on the way to the slider down and in to Bowers. It's a 1-0. 1-0. Outside wide 2-0. After last year seeing what they did, last couple of years they've done with the Hall of Fame game where they literally, very few starters playing. If they do, they only play one series. The 2-0. Swing, slices it foul. You weren't sure what you were going to get when they first introduced the 3-week preseason, but nothing much has changed. It's pretty much a bunch of nothing. The 2-1 pitch, right there on the outer edge, 2-2. The rest of the league does not start until the following weekend. The 2-2, down and in. Do you go around? They said Bowers held it up there. He's on the pinch hit for Reese Hoskins. Braves lead at 6-2. Chris Sale will be in line for the victory. 5 2/3 innings, 6 strikeouts. Not one of his best games, but he got the job done. The 3-2 pitch. Pulled the string on that one. Strike 3. Braves win. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win. Whiskey for my men. Beer for my horses. Braves in the newly returned Jorge Soler, Luke Jackson era go 1-0. And they're 2-0 since making the trade. 6-2 your final. Game balls today, I think you got to split them. I mean, why not? Back-to-back home runs by Olsen and Darno. They both had 2 solo shots, so you can't really hedge your bet on either one. I think this, we don't do it often, but we're going to share the game ball between Olsen and Darno. And a tip of the cap for Riley getting that big 2 RBI single and the game-winning RBIs at that. Sale will improve to 14-3. Drop his ERA to 2.71. And the Atlanta Braves will head home. We'll be back on it tomorrow night, 7:20 first pitch. Charlie Morton going to try to get back to his winning ways and fry the fish. Y'all have a great night, Braves country. I think I might go jump in the water. Let's get it. And the Phillies lost and the Mets lost. August is going to be our month.